We got 12 school days now till the start of your EOGs. Basically, I figured we got 12 big topics really that we went over or did this year. So in these 12 days, we're going to use this beginning part, our videos, to go over each of those kind of 12 topics. When we do our second class, we're going to have everything mixed together, but we'll use the video part, get a little more specific. For today, we're going to work with our exponents and square roots here. So, let's start a little simpler. I got 5 squared. Who can tell me what 5 squared is? Corey. 25. Remember, 5 is our base. The 2 is our exponent. That tells you how many times you're multiplying the base by itself. So 5 squared is 5 times 5. 5 times 5, 25. All right, I got 4 cubed. That's 4 to the third power. That is 64. That is 4 times 4 times 4, 64. All right, very good with those. What we're a little more likely to see is we're a little more likely to see it going the other way, where we're going to have to find the square root or the cube root. So, who can tell me square root of 49? 7. So we're looking for what number times itself equals that 49, right? And then the cube root of 125. Cube root's a little tougher. You're looking for what number times itself 3 times. Yeah, and that one's going to be 5. 5 times 5 times 5. Okay? Probably won't see too many on there where it's just, hey, here's the square root, here's the cube root. What's the number? All right, so we look at this one. It's asking which one's not true. So we got A here says square root of 289 equals 17. B, cube root of 1,331 equals 11. C, square root of 16 equals 8. Or D, the cube root of 8 equals 2. Taquan? C is the one that is not true. What's the square root of 16? 4. Yeah, 4 times 4 is 16. That one's not true. What's 8 squared? What's 8 times 8? 64. So you don't necessarily have had to multiply out the other ones, but 17 times 17 is 289. 11 times 11 times 11 is 1,331. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the other ones are true statements. All right, so now here's where our square roots are a little more likely to happen. The ones that are the imperfect squares, the ones that aren't the exact numbers. So I've got the square root of 34. So the first thing we always have to do is when we have the square root of an imperfect square, we're looking for what 2 numbers it's in between. All right, so we need a square root that we know the number of that's above and below. So what 2 do we know?
6 and 5.
6 and 5. So what's 6 squared?
36.
36. So we know 36. Like we said, that's the square root. Oops. Square root of 36 is 6. And we know 5. That's 25. Square root of 25 is 5. So the square root of 34 is between those 2 numbers. It's going to be between 5 and 6. Sometimes they word these a little funny like this, as we've said before. Greatest integer less than. The big clue is how it ends up. It ends up by saying less than. So which number is less than? 5. So the answer would be 5. The reason it's phrased that way is it says the greatest integer less than. Because is 4 less than the square root of 34? Yeah. But by saying the greatest integer less than, that's why it's how it specifies that it's looking for 5 and not 4 or 3 or something like that. Everybody kind of follow? But that's always what they're looking for first, is the ones that's in between. All right, so now we got a little trickier maybe. We got a number line. We got some square roots. So what's 6 squared? 36. This would be like the square root of 36 right there. What's 7 squared?
49.
So this would be like the square root of 49. The dot, much closer to the square root of 36, right? Is it above or below?
Above.
Above. So who could tell me what's our answer choice have to be? Is that? Yeah, it's pretty much got to be A, right? B here, that's less than 36. So B would be, that would be B somewhere right there, right? Probably. C, that's pretty close to the 7. So the C probably somewhere right there. D, well, that's even closer. Right? Everybody kind of see how that one works? Sometimes you'll see problems like that where they give you a number line and you got to say which one matches with that number. All right, give this one a try. We need to figure out which one of those has a value of 24. We got a couple square roots in there, a couple exponents in there. One of those has an answer of 24. All right, A here. 7 squared is 49. 49 plus 10. That makes that one 59. Not A. B here, that's 2 times the square root of 25. Square root of 25 is 5. 2 times that is 10. Not that one. C, 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 10, 19. Not C. Obviously that's leaving D, but square root of 21 or 121 is 11. 13 plus 11 is 24. Leaves D as the correct answer. Okay? Any questions on that one? All right, now we just need to figure out which one has the greatest value. All right, so let's start probably or hopefully the easiest. What's 9 divided by 2? 4.5. All right, so we're looking for greatest value. That one's 4.5. That means we can cross off 4.2 repeating, right? So even though the decimal keeps going, it's 0.2 something, so that means it's less. All right, what number do we use for pi? 3.14, right? So we got 3.14 plus 1. Is that going to be more or less than 4.5? More. Less. That'd be 4.14, so we can cross off A. All right, so now we're stuck with the square root of 24. What two numbers is that in between? 4 and 5. So we got square root of 16, square root of 25. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 24, which one is it closer to? 5. lot closer to 5, isn't it? So do you think it's going to be higher or lower than 4.5? Probably higher, right? If you go to your calculator now, because we did it without a calculator, do the square root of 24, it's probably about 4.8, right? Yeah, so everybody kind of follow on that? Stuff like this is usually going to be inactive, so you got to be able to kind of work it out like that without a calculator, okay?